like Hoody, I'm back cooking these goodies. Look at these views from cooking these foods. Yeah, fuck with me.
What's up, guys? I hope everybody out there is doing well today. You know those days you wake up and you just like, your body's like, you've been treating me like a landfill for far too long. You need to get some decent fucking food in me, something with some nutrients. That was today. Like, you know how your body kind of can just tell you that it's lacking nutrients? Like, you just have a crave for vegetables. This is why this meal is occurring, essentially. I just was like, I need vegetables. I need like a lean source of protein. I was feeling extra jiggly. I was just feeling gross about myself. So I was like, you know what? Let me make a Greek salad. Being said, some feta cheese is going to be a little heavy. Yo, Renee's dressing, this Greek salad dressing, is the absolute truth. Please do not sleep on this. That's the move right there. I'm going to preface this by saying I do not go light on dressing. Even though I'm going to eat something healthy, I need an X amount of dressing, a certain amount to like enjoy my salad. So I'm not going to like do like a half cup or something like that or whatever. That's probably a lot of dressing. But still, you know what I mean. I'm just going to apply it as I feel necessary.
Hey! Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking, the hot box.
All right, guys, so I have a story for you today. And it's very personal to me. And a lot of people are very judgmental of these things. But I'm going to give you the whole backstory and kind of why I'm telling you, and just to kind of open your eyes to some shit. So let's get a bite of this, and then we'll get started. I just got to see how this is going to work out. Let's go dead center. Try to get everything in one. This is going to be so good. My body's just craving this refreshingness right now. Okay, first bite thoughts. Very feta-y, very dressing-y. Obviously, because I have it all on top here. But amazing. Everything is fresh, cold. I washed, rinsed, prepped everything, put it in the fridge so it get nice and cold. While the chicken was cooking. So a little backstory. A few videos ago, I did a video where I talked about how I stopped a guy from drunk driving recently, and you know, I felt some type of way about it. I felt strongly about it and said it's dumb, don't do it, da-da-da. And this is why, because I have first-hand experience with it, and I realize it's one of the dumbest things I've ever done. And I will never do it again. And I just realized how, you know, just senseless it is. So I got my license early on. I got it when I was like 17. Like, I was driving immediately. Very young. And consider myself a pretty good driver. I was driving like a really old but pristine condition, like 1977 Dodge F-150. It was like standard, really long gears. And you know, I was a pretty good driver by the time I got my DUI. But anyways, so I was like 20 years old. I was per any kid who just, you know, turned 19 and started drinking. Just, you know, I was going to the bars. I was pre-drinking, going to the bar, hanging out, doing what everybody does. when you're that age and you don't have a lot of extra money coming in, and all the rest of it, the cab system sucks, the transit system sucks. I didn't have parents who were like encouraging me to get wasted and go to the bar, so that would drive me to the bar or pick me up, right? So I just took it upon myself to get myself around while drinking. Well, after having had some drinks. Not drinking while I'm driving, but... So one night, go to my buddy's house. We have some drinks, pre-drinking, as we normally do. You know, I've had a good amount at this point, maybe 4 or 5 pretty stiff drinks. So the plan was we're gonna go to a sports bar to meet our one buddy, to have a couple of drinks with him, to wish him happy birthday, and then we're gonna go to the club. The club. Small town club. Where everybody knows everybody, and it's just ridiculous. That's a whole nother topic. Anybody who lives in a small town knows that you basically go to the club with people that you've been to high school with the whole time, or just everybody knows everybody's business. You know who's fucking who. It's all drama. I hop in my truck, drive to the sports bar where our buddy's at. My other buddies followed in another vehicle. And we went inside and, you know, hung out for like an hour, had some drinks with our buddy, who was, it was his birthday or whatever. I was like texting this girl at the time, and she was going to be at the club. So I said to my buddies, hey, like, I'm dipping out, I'm going to the spot, I'll meet you there later, because there's chicks hitting me up. So I go outside, I go to get in my truck, and my buddy had parked really tight to the back of me, and I had parked tight to the back of whoever who was in front of me. So I had like no room to really get out. I was basically sandwiched in. But of course, me being like, I'm a good driver, I got this, no worries. Slash, like, I don't want to go back in and make my buddy move. So I don't know if you've ever seen the scene in Austin Powers when he gets stuck in between the two walls, and he's like, I was essentially Austin Powers-ing my way out. And by the time I finally got enough room in the front to crank to fully get out, I guess by that time there had been cops kind of tucked away, like half a block away at the lights, kind of watching this all go down, and they were ready and waiting to just pull me over. So I pull out, boom, instantly the cops are immediately behind me, flick the cherries on, pull over. I pull over to the right on a side street. I know at this point I'm fucked. I'm obviously pretty drunk. So cops come to the window, takes one look at me and goes, "You're gassed." And I'm like, "Yep, you got me." I wasn't nervous. Nothing. I was just like, accepted my fate at that point. Didn't even want to try to hide it. So they get me out of the vehicle, put me in the cuffs, throw me in the back of the cop car. There's two cops. One sits back in the driver's seat. And the other cop takes my keys and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to just move this thing over to the side, like more, like really off the side so that it doesn't get towed," which is like kind of a cool move on their part. So he gets in my vehicle, and because it's such an old truck with such a weird standard, he can't figure out how to drive it. So he comes back to the car, he goes to his partner, he goes, I was like, "Man, I can't figure out how to fucking drive this thing." Of course, I'm in the back, and I go, I'm like, "Do you want me to do it?" They didn't like that. So I got taken to the station, breathalyzed. I was allowed to make a phone call. They give you a lawyer's list of lawyers to call. And the lawyer just said, "Don't say anything, don't do anything, just, they're going to let you go in a little bit. They just need to like process you." And he's like, "You can deal with the rest in court." I was like, "Don't give them any information at all, really, except for the stuff that you have to." So I got thrown in a cell by myself, the detox drunk tank cell, for a couple hours. There were some weirdos across from me. They're all fucked up, yelling and screaming. I can tell you, prison is not the place for me, because I felt like when I was in that cell, you just feel so fucking hopeless. I felt like when I was in there, I felt like these guys could just keep me here, never notify anybody, and I would just be missing in a police station for the rest of my life. Like, those are the thoughts that go through your head when you're in a situation like that. Like, you just feel so trapped and helpless. You know that's not gonna happen. Like, obviously, maybe in like a weird third world country or something, if you're like a tourist, but you know, not in Canada. But those thoughts run through your head. And so after a while, they are like, "Hey, you can go now. Call somebody to pick you up." My sister's boyfriend at the time came and grabbed me early in the morning. So now I was licenseless, but I had to retrieve my truck and get it back to the house. And, you know, I was going to tell my dad eventually. Obviously I had to, but I wasn't ready right then. So I went back, mission for my truck, got my truck, licenseless, just wishing and praying and hoping that in like the half of the, you know, the 10-minute drive I had, that I didn't somehow get pulled over and just get like a crazy fine and get like thrown in jail or some shit. Got my truck back home, parked it. A week went by, trying to find a way like tell my dad. I knew eventually he was going to catch on, obviously, because I wasn't driving. So I just went down to him. He was watching TV. He was chill, and I was like, "I gotta tell you something. I think I kind of fucked up my life." And I shut the TV off. He's like, what did you do? He's like, who's pregnant? I was like, no, it's not pregnant. I was just telling me, what'd you do? I was like, I had DUI. He's like, I fucking knew it. He's like, I had a suspicion. He's like, I knew you were going to do this. He gave me a little shit, and then eventually I just had my court hearing, pled guilty, had an $1,100 fine, lose your license for a year. And I had just got my DUI right at the year when they finally like cracked down on the laws, and it was like the first year that they made it mandatory for the next year after you get your license back to have the breathalyzer thing in your vehicle that you have to blow in every time that you drive. And you could be driving and it could just your vehicle can stop, and then you have to blow in again to prove that you haven't been drinking while you've been driving, I guess. Moral of the story, I was young, stupid. I was trying to save a buck by not taking a taxi or whatever. Ended up costing me way more in the long run with fines and a little bit of lawyer fees and stuff like that. And then I reflected on it, and it's just like, it's so dumb. Like, it's such a stupid choice because the outcome of it can ruin your life and a lot of other people's. That night, let's say I didn't get caught. I may have killed somebody, you know? You never know what's possible, so, you know, you kill somebody and then you've taken a life and you've affected everybody around them as well who dies. It's just stupid. It's not worth it. Never worth it. It's going to cost you money. You might end up in jail. You might kill yourself, etc., etc. So it's just very stupid. Don't do it. Learn from me. Take it from me. It's really just not worth it. That being said, though, the weirdest part about it is it's why I ended up in Toronto. It's the thing that is the catalyst that pushed me to end up here. And I am grateful for that, I guess, because I feel like my life would be not what it is now had that never happened. Because I couldn't continue living in a city where I couldn't drive. It just felt impossible to me because I was you know, in my early 20s, and I would have to depend on like parents for rides and shit, and it'd just be fucked up. And so I was like, you know, I'll go to Toronto. They have great public transit there, and you can just get around without having a license. So, and yeah, I am where I am and met who I have with having moved here. So it's kind of sort of a blessing in disguise, but still, don't take that as a positive thing for drinking and driving. It was just circumstantially that's how my situation went. But definitely don't do it. Also, these, I think I didn't cook them long enough. They were a little bit like pinky inside, and that kind of freaks me out. I don't like my meat to be questionable even, so kind of just stayed away from those. The salad is fucking amazing though. Anyways, this is a little more subdued of a video, not so sex clubby, a little more chill. But, you know, just eat good, live well, stay true.